thinking about in terms of a better and a greater world for all people. And we can't do that by me in one corner doing what I can do to hurt you and you in the other corner doing the same thing against me.
Welcome everybody to NBATB, no beating around the bush. And this evening I had the pleasure, and I mean pleasure, of speaking with my baby, Noodles, Prince New, okay? I've known this man since he was a child. And when I tell you all, to me, in my eyes, if you all want to know the definition of a good Black man, this is one right here in front of you. He's doing things out here that we need our men to stand up and do. And I'm very, very proud of him. Very. And I can't say that enough. I probably tell him that too much, but I'm going to continue to do that, because as long as he continues to do what he's doing, he deserves to be celebrated. So Noodles and I, Prince New, we're here today to talk about, and you correct me if I'm wrong when I say this, we're here today to talk about how it felt to have a dad that was always, that always made you feel like he had 1 foot in and 1 foot out the door. He was never fully there. Am I correct?
All right. Yes, ma'am.
So before we begin, let's start by just telling everybody a little bit about who you are.
Right. Well, first, Shawn already pretty much spoke on our history. She plays a very important and pivotal part of my life, in just raising me, always being a good friend, and in many cases, like a second mother and father, for you guys that know her personality and things of that nature. She taught me a lot, showed me a lot, and I'm just, grateful to be able to even sit at this day and time to even have this conversation. So first off, I wanted to say, thank you for even reaching out to me to do this. And what you're doing is very great and needed in the world. So thank you.
As I feel the same about what you're doing, which we will get to at some point.
As for me, man, just a young Black man trying to leave a mark on the world in a positive aspect, and use their energy and intelligence to pretty much breed and pour into the youth and people in general, for that matter. That's pretty much who I am and what I'm about. This journey is not an easy journey. It has not been easy, and more importantly, I represent that the not easy, the not easy route. I was not always clear-headed or sure or confident in which direction I was going to go, or really who I was going to be. Honestly and truthfully, I just really made that decision to pretty much lead the life that I'm leading and trying to, represent right now.
Good.
So just a young Black man doing whatever it takes to make it in that positive realm and route.
But that what you just said is so important, because like you said, you're not just doing whatever it takes. You're doing positive. Like you said, that key word is you're doing whatever it takes in a positive way. And so that's where I commend you. That's what I'm talking about. That I'm so proud of you. And like I said, with what you are doing with yourself, because you're turning around and you're giving back.
Right.
That's what we need. That's what we need. So getting down to the nitty gritty of what we came to talk about.
Yep.
Tell us, like, what is your earliest memory of your dad?
Really, childhood, and my father and I's dynamic is a unique one, and I say that treading lightly, because I know his past, I know his history, I know his story. And my father was born in Jamaica. He came to America when he was about 17 or so in his teenage years, I believe so. But him and his father used to walk past each other in their neighborhood when he lived in Jamaica. They didn't even really speak, so they had a pretty weird dynamic in that sense. So my father, the earliest story or recollection that I have of my father is, how can I say, he was present, but he wasn't there. And it's weird, I know, but all in all, just because you give birth to somebody or participate in an activity to give birth to someone, it doesn't make you a dad. He's my father, but he wasn't a dad in a sense, in a traditional sense of what most of us see or yearn for or want in a father. But he was always there. He didn't necessarily do anything ill towards me. He just never really came into the relationship that I was looking for from him as a father, or as a dad, more so as a dad. It never really transitioned or translated into our life. So as early as I can remember, 2 years old, 3 years old, he was there. I can remember him cooking in the kitchen or playing music and stuff like that. I have a lot of memories with him, but the struggle for me with him is just that the dad part of it never really translated. You figure, and I won't go too deep into the conversation, but because I'll allow you to ask your questions. But just to give the viewers the perspective and to bring them into the struggle is I would ride in the car with him. Okay, so I didn't have a conversation as 20 words with my dad until I was probably like in my 20s. He's a very short conversation kind of guy. Make sure you protect yourself and mind your business and stay away from people. All right, Dad. And that would be pretty much it in that regard.
But how did that make you feel though? Like you going back a little bit, you mentioned you initially mentioned his upbringing and where he came from. You and then you mentioned I can't remember, you mentioned that the fact that he was there, not there, right? Are you at a point of recognizing what is, or are you trying to sugarcoat? Like, okay, like you can't be both. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You either are or you're not. Right. You don't get a pass to half do it. You
Absolutely.
Understand? So you don't get an excuse of because your upbringing was this.
Right.
So you do understand that, because when I was listening to you talk, I got that kind of impression, and that's your dad. So there's a certain respect level that you have, but then real is real.
Right. So no, I'm not here to diminish that role or to put him or paint that situation in any light. Honestly, my reasoning or articulation on the matter is really from the growth I have done for self. It's not really, it is, like you said, it is what it is. It's unfortunate. He was not the person that I needed for him to be, especially in my upbringing. He's not what I wanted. Those situations definitely bother me in a sense of what could have been. but because I'm such a resilient, in touch with myself kind of guy, I've learned to process it from an honest point of view, which is, if this man, human being, because long before he was my father, he was a person, right? He's a guy with his own experiences. He's a guy with his own demons, his own problems, his own issues, and I suffer from those aspects as well through my connections to individuals and people and things of that nature. Like, I have my own problems as well. So when I speak to his history and the things that he's been through, I speak to that because I understand it. Because I know for a fact that, and I would never even put that on his name, that he laid down with my mother to create a life, ask for a life, and then just in his mind didn't want to be a dad. You know what I mean?
That's
so he wasn't like a bum in that sense. It's not like he left us hanging. He just wasn't a dad. Again, he was around, but he just wasn't a dad. You figure, and I might be jumping ahead a little bit, but it go back into my introduction. You taught me how to keep my hygiene up, and to put deodorant on, and to brush my hair, because you're about to get into girls, and man, you can't be having no plaque all on your teeth, dog, when you wake up. My father did not have that conversation with me. He did not have that conversation with me. You had that conversation with me. You instilled those types of things in me. Man, if a guy takes your bike, you better go get your bike back. My mother had that conversation with me. My father didn't have that conversation with me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's just like, again, he was there, but those to me are conversations that should be had by the man or the dad to teach the son how to become a man or to do certain things and aspects. And you figure, if my mom didn't teach me, my brother taught me. And if my brother didn't teach me, I would honestly have to say, not just because we here, that you taught me. And that's just the truth of it. Or I learned it from my coaches, or got it just from outside from one of the big homies, or something along those lines. Because again, we never had a conversation past 25 words until I was 20.
Right.
So it was always just, it was wisdom in his conversation, in the things that he was telling me. You know, be yourself. Hey, yo, go to school. Have a good day. All right, Dad. After that, it was nothing else.
Did it make you did it make you feel some kind of way as a child? Like, looking back now,
right?
So think back to when you was a kid. Yeah. Did it make you? Was there ever a time that you felt like it was your fault? Like maybe I did something that makes him not want to be around me.
No. And it's difficult. I know it's difficult. It's going to be difficult for the viewers to process this. And I'll try to clarify it and say it again. He was there, but he wasn't. He's sitting right there. We just not talking. We don't have no communication. It's no laughter. It's nothing. He took me around. It's nothing happening. You know what I mean? He took me around my brothers. He made sure I knew my family. I'm in a van with him. We were right an hour and nothing. Some music playing and it's just nothing. So the disc, I can say that in me built a like resentment or a thought of, not necessarily did I do something wrong, but why aren't you stepping into that role like such and such? I like when they dad comes and is having a conversation with them. I actually want you to jack me up and pull me to the side and tell me to get myself together. I'm looking for the structure, and the structure is not there. It's not there. And a lot of it is like, I just grew and learned to like, not necessarily accept it, but again, the type of man I am is just like, and it is what it is. And my mom instilled that in me. She's the one who gave me the introspection and outro inspection of how to analyze those situations. Two tears in a bucket. You know, that's how she put it. Am I able to curse or no?
Yeah. Man, I'm no beating around the bush. It is what it is.
So two tears in a bucket. Fuck it. Hey, look, Slim. These are the cards we dealt, and we not about to cry over no spilled milk. Keep pushing, Slim. Keep it moving. That's it.
Do you feel do you feel that, so when we as parents do stuff like that, like basically 2 tears in a bucket, right? Do you believe that that is a good thing and a bad, or a good or bad? And my reason for asking that is because that's kind of telling a child to suppress your feelings. Don't have no feeling towards it. Like just be cold and harsh and learn to build up these walls.
Right.
You know, do you believe that does that?
I agree. Yeah, I agree. And again, it's a funny dynamic, because on the other side of that, because I'm an energy guy, I'm real big on energy. And a lot of people who don't necessarily know how to create those walls, in my opinion and in my experience, because of the type of work that I do with dealing with kids and empowering the youth and things of that nature, it's a very thin line between allowing that ability of not letting those walls be built up, or knowing how to create those types of like circumstances for yourself, that protection for yourself. It allows you to take on everything that the world has to bring. And when you start to grab everyone else's energy, for me, it can cause a lot of stress, and stress kill people. But then on the other side, not knowing what to do with those things, or not knowing or how to analyze those particulars, it also can cause, so it's twofold. It's a double-edged sword in a sense. So you got to pick your poison. If I had to do it all over again, and this is just me being honest, again, this is no beating around the bush. So I wouldn't ask for it to be no other way. And that's only because of what I see, how other people break down certain situations and certain aspects of things. When you taking on every single person's problems or every person's issues because you just want to talk about it, and because you want to, then you got a million people in your business, and then their opinion comes, and it can break a person. In my opinion, if you don't know what to do and how to not necessarily control, but analyze those particulars. If you don't know how to break that stuff down and actually know what's really going on, and do it in more of like a controlled, constructive way, then it's a detriment. So I say, if it's healthy, if it's proper, if it's solution oriented, if it's leading towards a goal of in a positive manner, talk all day. Talk all day, express all day, let it out all day. Other than that, I'm gonna have to go with my mom on that. Don't nobody give two shits about your tears.
I can, as a child, see, as an adult, I kind of can definitely understand that. But as a child, I believe that I've done it the 2 tears in a bucket, fuck it way. You know what I'm saying? I've been that person. And I know the damage that 2 tears in a bucket can do to a child. And so for me, I don't feel like that's the right way to be. I believe that we do more damage. You know what I'm saying? Now it's up to the adult to change and want to be right, and to know that you brought this child in this world, and they point blank come first. There's no excuse. There's no, I don't give a shit about how you were raised. I don't give a shit about your issues. I don't give a shit about none of that. That child deserves and needs your patience, your love, and you to be there and talk and listen and nurture them. It just so happens that, and this has nothing to do with your dad as a person, because I think he cool as hell.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But as a father, you dropped the ball, dude.
Absolutely.
And
100%.
I know your mother was both. And I'm giving props to her because they're due to her. If they were due to him, I would give them to him as well. But I seen her try to get him to be, the way he should be, as women do, to kind of let you know, basically, I know it was for you so that you would not think that you were the problem, because kids take on the unfortunate mental issues of that they think it's them. I think that with you, what I'm getting to is that you are fortunate enough to be one of the stronger ones who just knew that you're supposed to be here. You have bigger and better shit to do in this world, and him not being there is not going to stop me.
Well, again, and this is just for all the parents out there, really all the women who either plan on having kids or who have kids, and especially young men, because I'm one myself, but kids in general. It was my mom, and in the sense of, when I say it was my mom, she kept it real. She kept it real with me. She told me what it was, exactly what it was, because there are days where I cried or complained or felt ways. Why don't he hang out? Why don't we hang out? Like, I want him to come to my basketball games.
That's what I wanted you to get to right there.
Right. Yeah. Like there are days where, why he don't come?
Exactly.
Well, because of lifestyle choices. This is who your father, my mom talking, this is who your father is. And the truth of it, talking to me, Noodles, the truth of it is, he don't know how. What do you mean that this grown man don't know how? These are conversations that I'm having with my mother as a kid. What do you mean he don't know how? Everybody else father know how. All I need him to do is come to the game and da-da-da-da-da. He doesn't know how. I'm like, what do you mean? Then she would break it down to me in the sense of, and as hard as it was for us to explain it, for her to explain it, it was basically a clear shot understanding of his past,
right,
and how he went about things with his dad.
Right. Okay. And
you know what I mean?
Yep.
He doesn't know how. No one showed him how.
I do.
I said, what do you mean? She said, him and his dad used to walk past each other. I said, you're lying. There's no way. Go ask your grandmother. She'll tell you the truth. Hey, grandma, what was the situation with my dad and his dad? Oh man, they never spoke. They never did anything. They never did this. They never did that. So his actions were a direct correlation of what he went through and he was suffering from. So it's not necessarily an excuse. It's the truth.
Yeah.
An apple seed builds another apple.
Yeah. Now, what about
another apple?
That's a good one right there. So we're going to wrap it up with this right here. Now, with you saying that is true. It's a generational thing at this point.
Right.
What about you? What about you when you become a father, if you choose to?
Right.
Do you know that you are 100% going to be there for your child? No ifs, ands, or buts. Like, you're going to break that generational curse that has started. Absolutely.
120%. I know that. I would never want a kid, or especially of my own, a kid in general. So of course, a kid of my own, to feel that type of neglect or lack thereof in regards to someone being there for you, or just having your back in the way that you want them to or the way you think they should have your back. I would never turn my back on those particulars and be how he was to my kid. And in that matter, no kid in the entire world.
And I believe that.
Yeah, will I ever turn my back on them? Once I'm in your corner, I'm in your corner forever. And pretty much I'm here to serve. I'm here to create a dynamic that the people who did do those things for me, because that's why I'm standing here today. So the reason why the apple didn't breed another apple didn't with that analogy is because of people like you guys, my mom, yourself, all of my coaches, my environment, my brother, everybody pretty much put in. They put in and put in and put in and put in and put in. And then for whatever reason, God put these things heavy on my heart, heavy on my mind, to give back, to empower others, and to pretty much share my gift. So in that, I don't know nothing else. I don't know nothing else. Now, what I can say is, in certain aspects, in certain areas, the particulars of my father show up.
Okay.
It shows up.
Where? Like where? So he does exist in there.
Yeah. Just in general, which I spoke to earlier. I wasn't always on this. I wasn't always on this pathway. I've dibbled and dabbled in the streets, and dibbled and dabbled in a lot of different aspects as it pertains to the things that he was doing.
Right.
As far, the streets and things of that nature. So, because that's the life that he led. He lived. He was a street guy. So, in that, I dibbled and dabbled.
Right.
I fought between those. Should I live up to my father's shoes and be this big time hustler guy, or should I lead the way that the universe is pulling me into, which is the positive side? Well, this side is a whole lot easier. I got this side real honest. Like it's readily available. Right. It's right here. I can go into the streets and do whatever it is that I want to do.
Right.
And I can make all the wrong decisions if I want to. Is that I can get a gun that easy?
Right.
This is easy. So those kinds of things were in the back of my mind, especially through the struggles of being an entrepreneur and things of that nature.
It's easier.
It's easier. Like, you think, what? Man, I can't go do this real quick to get back on my feet, or to do that. Like, it was a challenge for me. And even with like women as well. My father was a nomad. I have a lot of brothers and sisters all over the country, everywhere. So Papa was a Rolling Stone, he was rocking and rolling, you know what I mean? So in those ways as well, early on, but before I started to settle down and really gain the concept of, man, I want a family, I want stability, I want a wife and things of that nature. Like, man, what? I was rocking and rolling too. Yeah,
I get it. I call that reaching in your reserve pocket, because like you reach back in your mommy pocket. You had two sides. You had him and you have her. And so it's like she was always there in that pocket. And so when you wanted to do the right thing, not that he's bad at all, we know the lifestyle he lives, good person, bad lifestyle, but you reach back into what she taught you. And then you decided to make that your life. Because, I mean, the fact that you went down per se a negative path or had a bout with that is not even a bad thing to me, because the bigger picture is that you found your way back. And you found your way back to what in my opinion, I don't care. I knew from a child that this is what you were going to grow up and do. I knew it was going to be something in this type of realm, but it was going to be giving a service and giving back. I knew it when you were a child. So it is your destiny, in my opinion, to do exactly what you're doing. And I would say to you, no matter how hard it gets, to stay doing it the same way you're doing it, because the struggle makes it that more fulfilling when you do get there. Right. You know, so to wrap everything up, tell everybody where they can find you, follow you. Where can their kids find you to come work out, to come pay for you?
Right. So currently I'm running a Black Boy and Black Girl initiative through my nonprofit. The name of my nonprofit is Chains of Change, and that's change like a lock, and then change like in your pocket. So Chains of Change is the name of my nonprofit organization that is surrounded around youth, empowering the youth, and pretty much giving them tools and advice, and creating an environment so that they can empower themselves and pretty much become self-sufficient in anything that they want to, you know, go into, whether that's career, educationally, athletically, and all of those kinds of things. So that's Chains of Change. I travel throughout the country to different elementary schools, middle schools, high schools, and pretty much work with the youth in that regard. I'm a basketball coach. I'm also a personal trainer. And I pretty much train from all the way from like 6 years old, all the way up to the NBA. I've pretty much worked with every level of basketball that you can think of, professionally, college, high school, middle school, elementary, even the little teeny boppers. We get them in the gym and get them rocking and rolling too. So that's pretty much all year round for me. What else? And that's pretty much it. Everything else that comes with that kind of stuff is pretty much just me. All of my motivational content on my Instagram, and you can follow me at Rare Performance athletics on Instagram. And just pretty much stay in tune, support. And my motto for life is grind or die. There's no in between for me. If you're not grinding, if you're not about something, if you're not moving, if you're not creating something, if you're not pushing forward and putting positivity into the world, not physically, just spiritually, and pretty much spiritually, and in your energy, you're dead to me. So you have to be doing something. We don't do couch potatoes over here. You have to be on some type of grind, no matter what it is. Even if it's negative, I still want you to be moving, and then we can at least
work on that.
At least you can get a seat at the table, and then we'll be able to work out the kinks. But I want you to be doing something.
Because ain't nobody, you're not leaving nobody behind. You can join, but we got to do something.
Right. You got to be doing something first for you to even join the conversation. So there you go. Grind or die. And that translates into God. And we all know that's God. So I look for the God in everyone, and pretty much share the energy of the God that is in me to enlighten and embrace others as well. So that's pretty much where I am. And if you guys have any questions or any type of insight that you need, any motivation that you need, again, you can follow me on Instagram at Rare Performance .athletics, and I'm there waiting. Y'all can come holler at me whenever.
That's right. Listen, y'all, go follow that handsome face. All right, he a handsome one. I already know. All right, y'all. Thanks a lot for joining me, Prince New, and I love y'all, NBATB family, and you already know I love you. And we'll be talking soon. Absolutely. All right. Talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Oh, yeah.